Well, the 1950s painting by Vladimir Tretchikoff, a Chinese girl, is making its way back to the country. After being sold at an auction in London on Wednesday, the painting selling for 13.8 million rand. Tretchikoff settled in South Africa in 1946. Joining us now is Frederick Scott, Managing Director of Stephan Welz Co. Welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. Without upsetting the purists, is it fair to say that this could be South Africa's most famous contemporary painting?
I wouldn't say contemporary painting, but certainly very popular in the sense that Tretchikoff had a very good business model of marketing his prints before he was really very well known.
In modern parlance, he really understood the notion of brand Tretchikoff, didn't he?
Certainly he did, yeah.
As far as this painting is concerned, Mr. Scott, is there a story attached to it? I think there is.
Yeah, there's certainly a story attached to it in the sense that he was fascinated by Eastern people. He liked Chinese people. He liked the features of people from the East, and he certainly painted that.
Mm. Yeah. Just in terms of the way in which perhaps the artistic community would describe the painting itself, just looking through some of the descriptions earlier in the day, the common word seems to be garish.
Yeah, yes.
Is that unfair?
I would think so. I think perhaps one should look at it a bit more in the historical sense. That Tretchikoff, in fact, developed a unique new way of painting. He was similar to the primitive painters, self-taught. And if you are self-taught, you actually have to find solutions to paint accurately, and that he certainly did. So there's certainly an innovation in his work.
Why?
What he brought to canvas was never taught in any art lessons, and that brings a uniqueness and probably intangible value that certainly contributed to this high success in the price.
I want to reflect on that value in just a moment, but why is it important that this painting returns to South Africa? Yeah,
important. I think nowadays with internet and travel, it could probably be anywhere. That isn't so serious, but certainly it's much nicer if it's in the country of its origin.
13.8 million, let's call it 14 million rand. It fetched more than double the asking price from what I understand. Why is that, do you think?
Yeah, well, it's well known that the Chinese girl was the most sold print ever. So everybody knows about it, and if you own the original work, there's certainly a uniqueness to that.
Just again, back to something that you said a little earlier, if I'm not mistaken, something like 500,000 large format reproductions of this particular work. Do you have a sense as to why this particular painting found such resonance, particularly in this country? You know, you go to homes, there it was on the mantelpiece above the fireplace, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it's actually very interesting because a lot of critics actually mocked his style, and but everyone actually admitted that there was a sophistication to his style and a uniqueness in his technique. And I think those are really the important points why the works are now so valuable. Because if I can draw a parallel, initially nobody liked Van Gogh's works. There was a newness to it, and certainly there is a uniqueness to his style. Important
to be a little ahead of your time, I think, if you're going to succeed. Thank you very much for joining us. So the views there of Frederick Scott, he's Managing Director of Stephan Welz and Company. This is Newsnight.
Thank you.